All right, good evening, everybody. This is the CSRN. Look up like I'm a little bit off. There you go. This is the CSRN weekly podcast. It's our video minutes where we come to you every Tuesday, 6 p.m., to talk about some of the things that we've done the past week. We've got a recap on the Dunkin' for donations. Some of the things that we've got coming up. There's some political things that are coming up, and also some of the things that we're doing right now. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I use the pronouns he and him. And today, what do I have on, Jody? Hey, I've got on my...
Got a nice little button up there.
Yeah, I got my button up, so I'll let you know that, hey, I'm just coming from, not the job, but I am, not having revolutionary gear on, but I got the revolutionary mind. I've got my glasses by Optical, Twix in between. So if you ever want some quality glasses, get in touch with Krista Moncrief. She's on Facebook. She has the Optical Bus. You might find her at Swain Field. You might find her, hey, just driving around Toledo. She has a lot of frames. Everything that she does is top notch. So try your best to find out a little bit like her, a little bit about her. And as always, this is the home of Black Lives Matter and Justice or Else. CSRN was the brainchild of Jabril Bay and Mike Leonardi. 7 years ago, they decided that they wanted to come together and participate in social justice and not have it come from a political or religious. And they came up with this thing called Community Solidarity Day. And 7 years later, Jody, hey, we're still getting it in. We're still getting it in. And let's see, what did I? And I was one of the co-founders. They brought me in at the kind of at the end to help do some planning. And we had our first big protest at the Lucas County Courthouse when Darren Wilson wasn't indicted. That was a Tuesday. Right after that, we met at Kent Branch Library, and we haven't stopped. We're self-supported with the help of all of our friends and supporters, well-wishers, and our comrades. And it don't stop. It won't stop. And I think that I've pretty much describe what I got on. For anyone that's visually challenged, I've got a fresh haircut. All right. Yeah. That wonders. And I think that's it, Jody. If you could introduce yourself, and I did say this is the home of Black Lives Matter and Justice or Else.
Yes, you did.
I think, all right. If you can introduce yourself, what do you have on? Why are you so late? And we get look. I can't help but to have some hate on.
The interns locked me out today.
Okay, all right. Hey, listen. First, how you feeling today?
Still alive. Very busy end of the year. Organizations to close out, bank accounts to close out, making sure all of my extra ancillary things are done and getting ready for 2022, all that good stuff. What's up, everybody? I'm Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth, the treasurer of this wonderful organization. For those of you that are visually impaired, I am, or that's just, driving, not looking at your screens or anything like that, not texting, and want to make sure you get home timely safe. Right. Or later on, listening to it in the podcast. Some of us say I have a very soothing voice, so you might go to sleep to it. You don't want you to go sleep to it.
Right. Not driving, at least.
Well, you might turn it on at night, just get that active memory going here about the show and stuff. But I am a brown-skinned, cinnamon-toned, big bear of a man that is covered in tattoos and piercings and crystals and stones and bones from all of the travels of me being an author, illustrator, filmmaker, chef, board member, politician, and all of that stuff, because those are all part of the things that make me whole. Little bits and pieces of here and there, and my pronouns would be him, he, or we being my community and everything that I do in front, behind, and on camera.
All right. That's a good intro. All right. Well, that was an interesting intro. Hey, listen, we've got a mission statement. Why do you think having a mission statement for you in your own words, as only you can say it, why do you think it's so important that we have a mission statement, here in CSRN?
Well, a mission statement keeps you grounded. I see we got somebody in the green room too.
Yeah.
Don't eat it. Don't drink his burners. No, but
no, Sean should know. All right, Sean should know. All that stuff in there really ain't for him. It's really just to look good.
Everything. But anyway, a mission statement is good because it keeps your organization. We wouldn't be together for 7 years if we just had like some Post-it notes everywhere, or just some random person that walks in every week with a megaphone. I'm the leader. It lets you be grounded. It lets, when me and Brother Washington leave, or Ruth and Julian leave, and we pass this wonderful organization down to future activists and entrepreneurs and authors and healthcare providers, that they have some foundation to work with. Now, they may go back through years, decades later, change some of the stuff, but at least you have a groundwork.
Right.
It's a good thing to do no matter what, whether you're a nonprofit, political party, starting your entrepreneur business or anything like that. So you have that, that place to start with. You build up from there, and you can't, again, have nobody coming in with a megaphone telling you how many followers they got or something like this when they've not actually done any real work, just online typing.
Ooh, all right. I feel shots fired on that.
I fired all the shots. It's the end of the year.
All right. All right.
So, well, not Okay.
All right.
We didn't have enough of that in the city.
Right. And we're going to get into that. We got our brother Sean Mahone here. We are going to get into some of the strategies that we can make our communities a safe and decent place to live. And there are some people in Toledo that's making it happen.
Yeah.
Regardless if somebody likes it or not.
I heard a couple board meetings where we're getting blamed now for the stuff, and I'm like, wow. But again, people will grab straws anywhere they can, especially stuff like that. But yeah, so this is our mission statement. Again, it's one of the foundations that you need if you want longevity. If you're just there for the quick money and stuff like that, so be it. But if you want longevity in your organization, business, find yourself a mission statement or create one.
That's right.
There's a lot of templates online you can use. I'll let Brother Washington. He may be able to help you out for a surcharge, Anyway.
All right. Okay.
Hey, this stuff is gold.
That's true, too.
For Village on Adams, we literally have a zombie crawl Bible. So anyway.
All right.
This is our mission statement. We are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer, of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black women and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, harassed, and by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often police brutality goes without consequence and accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive, community-based events to help foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc., etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, yes, all, regardless of class, creed, or color. For all lives to matter, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
All right, we're going to keep it moving with our guiding principles, and this is somewhat of the soul of CSRN. This keeps us also from imploding, that we all have a way to treat each other and communicate with each other. These are the CSRN guiding principles. All Black lives matter. Queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor working class Black lives, differently able Black lives, Black men and women lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children lives. All Black lives matter and are the creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe?
Ashe.
And Ashe means one who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen. Thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we're currently in. We want our people to thrive, not just exist. Think beyond the possible. Ashe?
Ashe.
Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics, and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe?
Ashe.
Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflections must be a part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe?
Ashe.
Principled struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe?
Ashe.
Love, self-love is practiced in every element of all we do. Love and self-love must be a driver of our work and an indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe?
Ashe.
360-degree vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundations of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe?
Ashe.
Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, intentional, and essential practice. Ashe?
Ashe.
The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be in leadership at the center of our movement and telling their stories directly. Ashe?
Ashe.
Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe?
Ashe.
And listen, those are our guiding principles. Hey, Jody, we have a super special guest today. So we're really going to get into it. Hey, listen, we're going to play a short clip. Take a short break.
I can get briefed on the show.
All right, we got Dr. P. You got to get briefed when we bring our brother on. That'll be your briefing, all right? Hey, listen, we're going to play a short commercial by Dr. P, the leadership coach. So stay tuned. This is the CSRN Video Minutes, our weekly podcast.
Hey, I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
All right, we are back. Some people ask, what is Jody doing on the phone? Let me see Brother Washington talking and dropping jewels and dropping bombs. And he's, well, what are you doing when you're on the phone?
So I'm sifting through the 895 groups and 26 pages that I have to make sure the content gets to where it needs to. Yeah, we are self-funded. We don't pay for promotion or boosted posts or anything like that. So because anything that we do get as an organization that goes out into the community. So all this, that's why we got to feed our internship cubes and stuff. But we do this. This is so y'all can actually see it.
Oh, okay. All right.
This is my groups. So I have groups in everything. Again, I'm an author, actor, entrepreneur, chef, business owner, politician, and you can't just put this type of stuff in the cooking group. They're gonna be like, oh,
what? You out.
And I like to keep those relationships because that's something as you get older, you realize that it's necessary.
And I'm older and it is necessary. And I tell them all, I've been kicked out of better places. So, all right. So you're not the first.
Better places.
Hey, listen, I really want to bring on our special guest today. This is Sean Mahone Sr. from Young Men and Women for Change. Let's see. Come on, interns, get him on. Oh, man, good help is easy to find sometimes. Hey, listen, right. And if anybody's in the chat, say what's up in the comments, and we'll put your comments
Yep, feel free to ask
On the
questions.
screen, we see Jody put up 3 black fists. Okay, so we get 3 this week. All right, we'll do better to get 5. But listen, we've got our brother Sean Mahone Sr., Young Men and Women for Change. It's a boot camp plus a lot more. But a lot of us, Sean, including myself, really don't know a lot about what you do, even though you've been doing it a long time. So, listen, who are you? What is Young Men and Women for Change? And why should people even care?
Well, first of all, let me say thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Loud and clear.
Okay, good. First of all, let me say, Ashe to you guys, thank you so much for having me on the show. I greatly appreciate it. Who I am is just as Sean Mahone, a brother that grew up in the 700 block of Oakwood. Grew up in the 700 block of Oakwood, especially during a time where crack cocaine was dropped in our neighborhood, and I had a choice to make. And the choice was either I was going to sell it or use it. But I tell people the boys club literally saved my life. It literally saved my life because I love the game of basketball. So it gave me an opportunity. It gave me an out. So I was able to go to the boys club every day and shoot basketball and go swimming and, shoot pool and ping pong. So those type of activities kept me out of the streets. As far as Young Men and Women for Change, we are a behavior modification boot camp program. So let me stop and explain what the boot camp stands for. The boot stands for Behavior, Obedience, Observational Training. The camp stands for Community Adolescent Modification Program. It's a program helping youth, both male and female, ages 5 to 17, youth that are just simply making unhealthy choices in life. So we're talking about the youth that are being disrespectful, disobedient, defiant, unruly, lying, stealing, cheating, getting in trouble in school, getting suspended, getting kicked out, and even the youth that's been diagnosed with ADHD, ADD, and ODD. And this is a program where we simply take the youth, we break them down, we build them back up. Now, what do we mean by breaking them down? Just from everything that's negative, begin to build them back up by putting positive reinforcements in their life to help them become productive leaders is what we do. As an organization, we've been around 15 and a half years. And, it's frustrating at times that you've been doing a program that long and you don't get support. And people don't value or see what could be very helpful in our communities. But when you have a purpose in life, when you have a calling on your life, you got to be true to it and not new to it. And you got to be able to just keep moving regardless of who's for you and who's against you. And you got to keep pushing that agenda because there are lives that need to be saved.
For me, working in nonprofit for quite some time, I found out, I realized because I found out that less effective programs are supported.
Mm-hmm.
So if ever you want to know why aren't you supported, it's because you're doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
If you're making some changes to keep our people out of the prison industrial complex,
ruffling some feathers,
out of the substance abuse arena, you're hurting the bottom line of a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's for sure. You're hurting a lot of the bottom line for a lot of people. Some people may not like it, but that's their problem. They got to do what they got to do. You got to do what you got to do. But it looks like things are changing for young men and women emerging. I think we saw. We should have loaded the news clip that was in the Blade, and also some of the news clips that you were on television talking about some of the things that we could do different. And
yeah.
You say if nothing changes,
nothing changes.
Right. So,
so you have to. What the community needs to understand is it's a two-way street here. And what I mean by that is, Jody, 98% of our clientele is white. 98% of our clientele is white. So when you have white families that are traveling from all over the United States to Toledo to get the help that they need, that speaks volumes. So our one program that we've been doing for the past 11 years is called Dose of Reality. And the Dose of Reality program is where youth come to us on a Friday night at 8 p.m. We do ask the parents to stay for the first hour. Child or children is with us until 5 a.m. Saturday morning. That program by itself, we've had over 1,000 plus youth and parents that have come through that program. Only 188 children have been back. It's a very much needed program. We are in a couple of charter schools in the city of Toledo, and we've been able to reduce out of school suspension by 83%, referrals by 72%. So we have received awards from the Ohio Department of Education in regards to that. So I think people, when they hear of Young Men and Women for Change, they hear Dose of Reality, they link it with Scare Straight, and they think that we're just screaming and yelling at kids all night long, and that's not the case. But I mean, as long as I've been doing this program, the door has been open for any and everyone to come out and actually take a look at the program, to volunteer for the program, and see why it's a much needed program. The problem that I've found is that talking with the chief of police, it's been about 5 years now, and it's hit and miss with him. But that was what he thought. He said to me, you know, Sean, I apologize for not getting back with you. He said, but I'm gonna be very honest with you. I went and asked some black parents, will they send their kid to a program like this? And they told me no, because they discipline their own child. And I said, really? He said, yeah. I said, well, Chief, we got two problems. He said, what's that? I said, the first problem is you racially profile me because you think me being an African-American male, I'm only helping black children. 98% of our clientele is white. And he was just floored by that. He just could not believe it. But once again, nothing changes if nothing changes. So, you know, I had the opportunity to leave Toledo. I was gone from Toledo. I had no plans coming back to Toledo. But the creator found it a way for me to come back and start this program. And I knew what I was up against before I came back to start this program. I knew I was going to be up against the ills and the you know, wickedness in high places and your haters and backstabbers. I knew what I was up against, but here it is, 15 and a half years, and I'm still doing what I've been called to do. And now we're elevated to another level where we're able now to bring a lot more people on board so we can make this about us, so we can come together as black men and women and be able to lay some foundation down in our own communities so we can have a global impact, not just a local impact, but a global impact. So that's what, you know, we're focusing on with our new venture with Young Men and Women for Change.
Well, listen, I got a couple of questions, and Jody, feel free to jump in, but you know, I just go ahead.
I'm going to jump in as you keep saying change. Well, you know, we just had elections, so although it's a different chief, but still we have had a change in office, so he might be a little, you know, tugging at the ear of the new chief.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know if Chief Carl's going to still be in that position. I have not heard anything about him not being in that position. But you know, as a community, we got to do something that's going to change the narrative of what's been taking place in our city. And with this new location we have of downtown, this gives us an opportunity to develop partnerships and create economic development, to create jobs and opportunity, to create something that we can have here in Toledo that will make a global impact everywhere. And I think that's where we miss out at, is that we're so busy looking at what a person is doing, but you have to understand that, you know, between goals and achievements is discipline and consistency. And let me say that again, between goals and achievement is discipline and consistency. So, you know, between that and being able to network with people who have a heart for change, people that want to grow their business or leave behind their legacy. This 2022 is going to be the season that we need to make this thing happen, because this is our opportunity, and we don't want to get left behind because we have personal issues with one another. And let me be the first to say is I have no issues or quarrels with anybody in the community with the city of Toledo. You know, I'm the guy that's going to show you love. I'm the guy that's going to make sure you're okay. You know, I'm the guy that's like, hey, if I eat, you eat. That's who I am. I'm not out here for no money. I've been doing this 15 and a half years. I tell people all the time, if I was in this for money, I would have left a long time ago. So It's about purpose and not about profit, and it's about impact and not about income. And I've been blessed. I've been truly blessed to raise a son from the time he was 2. He just turned 18. Goes to St. John's. He's a senior. He's an honor roll student. So I've been blessed to do what I've been called to do, because with vision comes provision, and I've been true to it and not new to it. So there it is.
Okay, I'm writing down all these provision and vision and truth to it. All right, I already stole the if nothing changes, nothing changes. So I want you to just keep talking. All right. And listen, one of the things that I wanted to personally ask: how did the idea come about? Because when I think about youth programs, I think about young people coming up to a place and they're sitting down, like the boys club, maybe playing ball, um, getting tutored. Well, young men and women for change is really different. How did that idea come about?
So so going back to Toledo, born and raised in Toledo, graduated Rogers High School, senior class president. Went to Owens Community College, received my degree in criminal justice. So I used to be a police officer when it was Mercy Hospital years ago. Then I had an opportunity to work for a guy by the name of Ken Joseph, who was the ex FBI director of the training academy in Virginia. He was a security guru for a company called Cooper Industries out of
Hmm.
Houston, Texas. And so I did corporate security work, and I did that for a couple of years. I lived in St. Louis, and I lived in New York, and I lived in New Jersey, and lived in Dayton, Ohio. And just one day, a buddy of mine was like, "Man, let's go to the Kentucky Derby. Let's just get away. Let's just go have some fun." And I went to Louisville for the Kentucky Derby, and I remember being a little boy and used to always ask my uncle. I said, "Where you going?" My uncle said, "Well, I'm going to Louisville." And I said, "You going to Louisville?" He said, "Yeah, nephew." He said, "Two things you need to know about Louisville." He said, they known for fast horses and pretty women," and he never lied. And
Okay.
and
I
I
mean,
said
not
I
okay. If
said
my wife watches, that's
yeah, I said I gotta
okay.
stay here. This is
I'll be out there.
people were nice, and people were giving, and I was like, man, I wasn't used to that Southern hospitality. So I ended up taking a job working for the Kentucky Department of Corrections, and I was a correctional officer for 6 months, and then they promoted me to be a drill instructor at their boot camp for first time offenders between the age of 18 and
Oh wow.
35. So that's where the idea came in at. I saw what I did was I didn't reinvent the wheel. I just added a little oil to it. So what I did was I took the program and I shrunk it down to be able to help those youth from the ages of 5 to 17 that were making unhealthy choices. And then with that, I stepped out on faith and I ended up getting into corporate America. And I was very successful in corporate America. I was in sales and I was making 6 figures a year, and life was great. But literally, God gave me a vision to come back to Toledo and start a program helping children. And January of 2006, in the basement of a church on Hamilton Street, Young Men for Change was birthed at that time. And people thought I was crazy. People said it couldn't happen. People said the court said it would never happen because research shows those type of programs don't work.
Right.
And I was okay with that. I was okay with that because the only way they knew that this program was different was they're going to have to come out and see it. So for 15 and a half years, the past 11 years, every month, like I put a post out there. We're doing our Dose of Reality program on January the 14th, 2020. We need volunteers. If you want to come out and see the program, I'm trying to get people to understand why this program is so important, because it is definitely modifying behaviors. It's got our children structured. It's got our children disciplined. Its children are back on the honor roll. I mean, Jared Anderson, who is the next heavyweight champion of the world. We're blessed to have plant a seed in his life when he was 10 years old. He came through our program. Now
Oh,
look at him. And we have so many other success stories of children that have turned their life totally around and headed in the right direction. Again, 98% of our clientele is white. So, a lot of the white community, they love the services that we provide. They love being able to call us when there's an issue going on with their child. Either, we talk to the children over the phone and we try to modify the behavior over the phone. If we're unsuccessful with that, guess what? Mr. Sean is showing up at your school, or Mr. Sean is showing up at your front door. That's the type of loyalty, consistency that I've been giving the city over and over and over again. I haven't been out there saying, hey, I need some money. And then you guys hear that I got $100,000. Somebody gave me $100,000 and I went out and brought me, $2,000 suits, and, I went out and brought me a fancy car. And,
Right.
I don't do that. I'm not that brother. I'm not him. I'm just a humble servant that has been instructed by the creator himself to do this program come hell or high water. It's because what I did do is I took the word boot camp off of the program. And nope. The creator was like, nope, it's the reason why I'm telling you to call it boot camp. And I'm giving you the acronyms to tell people what boot camp stands for. And believe it or not, out of the 1,000+ youth and parents, out of the 1,000 parents that have reached out to us, they all were looking for some type of boot camp, because they are calling downtown. They want to know if there's a boot camp, if there's a scare straight program. Is there anything that can wake my child up? And the courts are telling the parents, no, there's nothing here. There's nothing. We don't have anything like that here in Toledo. Well, what about that one program? They don't know. But I've talked to the courts and I've politely asked the courts that, we're not looking to get sanctioned by the court, but what we are here to do is to be a help for those children you can't do anything with. And is it possibly okay for you to tell the people that there's a program in Toledo, we don't have anything to do with it, but there is a program, and try. And I asked, could they do that? And they told me no. So I said, you know what? I'm done. So I don't go downtown no more. I don't, it's not that I'm being mean or, being against the court or against the chief of police or against city government. No, that's not it. It's that I have an assignment to do. And regardless of what it feels like, regardless of what it looks like, I am accountable for that assignment. And I have to do what I need to do in order to do what I want to do. And so that's why you always hear me say nothing changes if nothing changes. The violent is going to continue to rise in our city. Why? Because there's no accountability program out there. I even wrote a proposal for the city of Toledo and telling them and detailing about this accountability program. And they pretty much just threw it in the trash and said, hey, we're getting ready to hire somebody for this job. And that's when they brought in Jerwan Armour and the violent interrupters. And I was like, okay, whatever works. If that program is going to help us, then great. But I don't see nothing wrong with us coming together and formulating partnerships for something that does work, that has the data and research to show that it's successful. That why can we just tap into what we're already doing that can kind of, create that positive change that we need in our community? But it's a lonely road out there, brothers, when you're out there doing right and you're getting beat down every day. You're getting lied on and you're getting told on. And it's real out here. But to whom is given, to much is required. Right.
Right. So, and now we had Juwan, his staff, and the violence interrupters on a few weeks ago. And I thought that was one of those things. And I attended a couple of the events with Juwan, and I thought that was something different. And if I'm not mistaken, and we may have to bring Juwan on again.
We might need a bridge to get y'all get everybody together. Because again, Toledo, I want to say, has that problem of everybody wants to do the same thing and think that everything is just going to happen if they don't talk to people.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking about, if the universe permits, that we have Juwan back on, that we also find out when is the next violence interrupters, the end of the gun violence program is going to have another sit down. I was a part of the first sit down where myself and some other agencies were there to be a part of that. Well, if they have another sit down, we definitely need to bring some other programs that are working. So we're not talking about coming up with something new. And if we have something effective, it does have a history. Hey, let's support that. rather than me trying to come up with something that's only going to be around for maybe a few months.
In election season.
And right, during election season. And after the election season, it's done. So I think now another thing that I wanted to ask you, when is the next dose of reality?
January 14th. Please mark that down because I want as many people, especially our city council. I want CSB. I want the police. I want as many people as possible to see how packed that we have this place of children that are benefiting from the services. And the children that come are not referred to the program. This is all word of mouth, Facebook advertising. This maybe some of the children in the schools that we deal with, because in lieu of suspension, we goes to reality program in lieu of suspending them and sending them home, which has been fantastic. And then so I'm looking to possibly go back to partnering with TPS and being able to have this program across the district and have the district looking very, very well with being able to show the reduction of their suspension with this type of program, which means we're creating jobs and opportunity again. Being able to have the home that's downtown, that's going to be, we're changing, it'll be under the umbrella of Young Men and Women for Change, but our new name will be Change Academy, where we will be able to do behavior modification, behavior health, education, community involvement and awareness, social and life skills, job readiness, and housing, under one roof in this facility that we have downtown. So, we're getting ready to do some things that's going to change the narrative of Toledo. And, corporate sales and being able to learn, they taught me how to talk from the lunchroom to the boardroom. I know how to go outside of Toledo and get money and bring it back to make it do what it needs to do. So we're going to have a really, my goal is to have a really state of the art facility, where it's really going to be a benefit to our community. It's going to be a benefit to the families. It's going to be a benefit to our youth, and people coming from across the country to Toledo. And I talked about that in our press conference about creating tax dollars for our city. So if I'm in the heart of downtown Toledo and we have this type of impact going on, guess what? They're redesigning a hotel right around the corner from where we're at. So if you go around the corner and, the parents stay there, or people stay there, staff stay there, guest visitors, whatever. Now we're moving. Now we're heading in the right direction. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's not about who's on top of what. It's about us making impact and being able to show how structured and disciplined it can happen and how everybody can win at the end of the day.
Now, and for the next dose of reality, are you gonna have a flyer?
Yeah.
That we can
Share it to the page.
Right, we'll share it on our page.
Okay.
For the thousands that are members of CSRN and like our page, they can see that, and then we'll ask for them to share it.
Okay.
So that it gets out of our regular algorithm of people that see it or may not see it. So that's one of the ways that we would really like to support.
And this is going to be at your new building?
No, we will give the location out on the flyer.
Okay.
So no, but we won't do it at the new facility quite yet, but that's going to be our push, is to be able to do it in our new facility, and being able to make sure that it's comfortable, especially for parents that are coming from out of town as well. So, because they come from all over the state of Ohio, that's Michigan, great. Indiana, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, New York, Illinois, Florida, South Carolina. They come from everywhere to Toledo to get the help that they need. And unfortunately, fellas, to be real with you, unfortunately, I'm saying it because I've run the program, but this is a much needed program. Especially with the teenagers that just shot at a funeral yesterday, a lot of kids can benefit from this program. It's not discipline is not punishment. There's nothing wrong with tough love when you're giving it out of love. Nothing wrong with it. But unfortunately, we've been so, in our own mind on doing things the way that people have been doing it for so long in Toledo. They think that is how it's supposed to be. And it's nothing wrong with trying something that's been around. I can honestly say now that, hey, you can approve it. I'm in a position now to show you that it's been approved and it's doing what it's been doing. So, if you don't want to fund it, fine. If you want to fund it, great. But that's about us being in a position to be able to now control the narrative of what needs to be done. And that's important.
All right, now for the new digs downtown, what's the address? So for anybody that's going to watching this, and some of the people that are going to view this later, what's the address for young men and women for change, which eventually will be Change Academy? What's the address there?
It's 323 Huron Street.
Okay, and where's
So
that?
we're between Adams and Madison.
Okay. All right. So they can. Oh, is there any signage up yet?
So it's in the window. You'll see just a YMWFC sign in the window.
Okay. All right. My next thing is, wow. They say there's a proverb that says that a prophet's never honored in his own home, and sometimes some of us have to wait and see if it's successful before we even consider. So that thing exists.
It does. It
All right.
exists. It exists, and I can stand proudly today and says that, you know, it works. It works. I don't have to manipulate it. I don't have to lie about it. It works. And if you go to our Facebook page and type in Young Men and Women for Change, you'll see parents just, success story after success story after success story. Now, the question is that I am the first African American male to ever have this type of program in the city of Toledo. So that's history being made. If people in Toledo are used to someone giving them the okay to move forward with their plan or vision, or they just didn't expect for me to come back home to have something and still be around that's effective. But at the end of the day, you got to understand that when God gives you vision, he gives you provision. And regardless of what sticks and stones been thrown at me and what media has projected out or whatever, I'm still standing. I'm still standing as a father in the community. I'm still standing as a mentor in the community. I'm still standing as a brother in the community, as a pawpaw. It goes on, but my main objective is being able to connect with other Black men where we can work hand in hand and side by side and begin to lay down foundation that will carry on to our children and their children. Because at this point in time in the game, there's nothing but laying foundation and saving lives.
All right. Hey, this is my last question, and we're going to take a short break. Then we're going to come back and talk about some of the things that we've got planned later. And also, we're going to give an update on Gospel donations and how successful that was. One of my last questions, if somebody's watching this and they're like, man, I would really like to support that program. I don't have any children, but I would like to support Young Men and Women for Change. How would they go about that?
I make it real simple for people. I'm a real person, and they can call me anytime. I tell people my phone stays on 24 hours, 7 days a week. If I'm asleep and you leave a message, when I wake up and check my voicemail, I'm going to call you back. So it's real simple. All they need to do is pick up the phone and give us a call at 567-277-5352. Number once again is 567-277-5352. And then they can just inbox me on Facebook under Sean Mahone Sr. and I'll get back with them, or LinkedIn or Instagram, wherever they see me at. They can just, hit me up and we can chop it up.
Hey, listen, Sean, if I really want to get back together soon, I also want you to know that the city of Toledo just hired a safety director, former police chief Brian Bird.
Fire chief.
And right. And I've met him before. He appears to be a straight shooter. And I would like to sit down with him and talk to him about, okay, you're the safety director now. What's your vision? And what are some programs that you've already see that exist in the community that could help? We should get Brian on. All right. We should get Brian Bird
New
on
year coming
and
up
talk
after
about
next show.
his vision if he wants to make Toledo safe. And a part of that safety is our children.
Right.
And yes, things are out of control. All right. They are out of control when we're shooting up funerals. All right. I
Yeah.
think that we've checked all the boxes. We've definitely checked all the boxes and we can stem that. The way our youth, my last little talking point is, um, in prevention, we learned that youth are actors and they tend to act out what they see in us.
Mm-hmm.
So our young people are merely a mirror of us. And I'm not saying, well, I'm not doing anything. Well, it doesn't matter, Washington. They're reflecting us mentally, spiritually, physically. They see our hypocrisy and they rebel against our do as I say, not as I do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 20 years in the making of the city of Toledo and others withdrawing support for our youth serving agencies.
Yep.
So this thing, Sean, didn't just pop up. This has been something that's planned to make sure that we've got failing schools or struggling schools. They did that with the Bill Gates thing when they dismantled Scott. And then they killed sports, all right? And then they decided that we were going to change and we would change schools each year. We're going to be 6th to 8th grade. Nope, we're going to be 1st to 6th grade. And then they ended programs like PIC. They ended the CDBG block grant and only used it for warehouse district stuff. So this is something that's been in the making for 20 years and it's here.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have an opportunity that we can say during this time where it looks like the fall of Rome or the fall of America, what were we doing? Were we trying to save families? Were we trying to save our brothers, our sisters, young people and their families? Just sitting behind on our keyboard complaining. So this is that time. Our young people aren't the way they are because they were born that way.
Right.
They're there because they're seeing a reflection of us, and they're airing our dirty laundry in their actions. So when you see them have no value for life, that reflects us in not having no value for them because we didn't invest in them. We invested in Fifth Third Stadium. We invested in Huntington Center. Or we invest in Solheim Cup. We invest in this downtown that looks like it excludes more people and includes the others. So they're showing us. So I love our young people. I love you. Fortunately, you are being put into a trap. You might think that you're lit. You might think that you're doing something that's going to give you credibility. But unfortunately, young brothers and sisters, you are feeding a system. All right. You're feeding a system that's going to turn you out and give you nothing.
To break families.
And we can't count on those who planned this, Sean, to fix it.
Right.
All right.
Right.
We're going to do it ourselves and we're going to lay some heavy pressure on them.
Absolutely.
So I much love and respect. Out of vision comes provision. All right. If nothing changes, nothing changes. So just let you know, I just took all your stuff. All right.
Yeah. Hey, we in this together, brother. We in this together, man. Yeah, and I love Jody, man. Jody is no nonsense. He definitely got to come talk at our program, man. Like he got some deep stuff to make kids think.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And I think just adding art and culture changes a thing.
Definitely does.
We utilize some of the gifts that Jody has to add a soul to the activist community, to add a soul to protest culture. And I've come from arts and culture. And what I see in Jody and all of his gifts that he added to CSRN changed us into something that nobody could duplicate.
Wow.
Because
Wow.
they'd be hard pressed to find another Jody out there. I don't think
Yeah.
they make them no more. All right.
Yeah, I've hit blueprints.
Right. So, in a person like Jody, he either checks all the boxes or none of the above.
None of the above. I can attest to that.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't find brothers like that. So I love him for who he is and his dedication not to allow the world mold him to be what they want him to be. All right. I love him because he can show up at the boardroom and I done put on my 5-piece suit. How did he get in wearing that? Oh, I got my boot-licking shoes on and all of that. How did he get in? Okay, look, I done went a little bit too far, but I love us as brothers that people can view this and see us as Black men talking about some critical issues in our community, that they can see us as Black men talking strong, and we're not blaming anyone. We're
Right.
taking the responsibility to repair the damage ourselves. All right. And everybody's going to get a door knocked on. So just because I say we're not blaming anybody doesn't mean that we're not going to be holding some people accountable. All right.
Right.
They'll see us when they see us, but we're not going to take up all of our time talking about people that will not do anything to help us. So, hey, listen, we're going to take a short break. You can hang on if you want, but thank you for joining us. This is the CSRN video podcast, our weekly video minutes. Come right back.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call Digital Edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
Hey, listen, we are back. This is the Community Solidarity Response Network. We just finished speaking with our brother, Sean Mahone Sr. All right, brother, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Hey, listen, do you know Sean Mahone?
Yeah.
All right, Young Men and Women for Change?
Yes.
Boot camp?
I think we've had them as like one of the things like years ago.
We spoke on panels.
Yeah.
All right,
Yep.
Dose of Reality.
Yep.
All of that, if nothing changes,
Nothing changes.
Through vision, what did he say? With vision and provision, I ganked all of his little sayings
You guys
here.
will put his date down there. His next event is when?
Oh, wow.
The 14th.
Of January?
That was January 14th, right? Your
Yep.
next event?
Yep.
Okay, all right. And we're waiting for the flyer. And once we get the flyer, we'll share it. Hey, listen, we've got our spokesperson. We used to remember when we used to say spokesman,
Right.
and they changed all of that. I said they, like that's even
okay.
all right. You even get they. Who's the they? All right, I don't know. All right. Hey, listen, we got Julian Mack with us. Let's bring him up on the screen. How does this thing work? Come on, interns. All right. Hey, listen, Julian. Join us after break. Who are you? What do you got on? And why do you keep coming back?
Yeah, so my name's Julian Mack, preferred gender pronouns he, him. I'm wearing a gray sweatshirt with the red, black, and green flag.
Okay, I see it.
know?
Right there,
Yep,
right there.
yep.
Didn't mean to touch you, but
Yeah, there you go. And Black Solidarity Fist. I keep coming back because it's needed, right? We need to have unified. We need to be unified at this point in time, right? We're dealing with unprecedented foolishness, and if we don't organizing is the tool and the secret weapon to overcome, and always has been and always will be. There's power with the people. And so essentially, I keep coming back because it's important to stay rooted with the community and to organize for change.
All right. Well, speaking about change, I'm part of a text group. We've got a special guest that may be coming to Toledo to do a barbershop tour.
Yes.
Who is she, and why should we know?
Yeah. So Morgan Harper is a candidate for the United States Senate, who's running for Rob Portman's the seat that Rob Portman is currently in right now, in a lame duck in. And she's a progressive young woman of color that has an opportunity to really shake things up in the Senate. We saw what Georgia did. We saw how some of the other states have elected progressive people to the Senate. We know the Senate moves slow, right? And so it's really important. We have an opportunity now to make our voice heard. And she's coming here to meet people on a grassroots level. And I think that's really important.
All right. Last week you talked about our conversation with, was it Nan Whaley?
Yes.
All right. And we heard some of her views on wellness and treatment. Well, Morgan Harper, where is she on, the addiction pandemic that a lot of us are going through? Where is she on wellness? Where is she on some of these issues that affects a lot of people? Because I see the Friday night fentanyl. All right.
Yeah.
So that's passionate. That's, you have a passion for that. I do too. What are her views on that?
I don't know all her views, and I won't completely speak for her. I'll say this: we originally met at the rally in Columbus last spring when we were doing the Free Them All campaign to cut the incarcerated population in half, where we organized for that locally, and then we took that statewide. And so to have, I do think she's one of us. She's a fellow organizer, and to have somebody that's a fellow organizer and understands these issues on a grassroots level, I think is really, really important, especially to have in a space like the United States Senate. One of the things I think it's important that we do is engage with elected officials and potential elected officials with issues that we want to know about and that we care about. One of the things I did with Dan Whaley was ask her where she stands on harm reduction, ask her where she stands on Narcan, ask her where she stands on all these different issues. And I think it's important when it comes to when Morgan Harper comes to Toledo. I think it's important that we ask her these questions as well. So we want to see you. January, is it 8th at, we'll have a list soon of the different barbershops and beauty shops that she'll be visiting. And it's really exciting. I don't think we've seen a candidate for an office that high participate in this type of level of conversation with regular average Americans. And I think that says something about the type of candidate and the type of person that she is.
All right, now you just talked about our conversation with Nan Whaley and harm reduction. Well, what are you doing in the community regarding making people aware of that? A lot of people don't know what it is. Some of the people in my field might feel like, well, treatment is the only thing that we need to be worrying about. And some people say, well, prevention is the only thing that we need to be worrying about. Well, there's that space in the middle where there's so many people. Why do you think harm reduction should be near the top of everybody's list on what you need to know?
Yeah, so there are people who choose to use drugs. There always have been, and there probably always will be. And just because someone chooses to participate in that activity doesn't mean that they deserve to die. Harm reduction is about saving lives. Or safe needle exchanges or safe using sites help mitigate the death, destruction, and pain that these substances cause on our community. And so it's, really important that, look, we've lost the war on drugs. It's time we realize that. And it's time that we change the conversation and realize that there is a such thing as drug use. There is a such thing as abuse, and there is a such thing as, a mental condition that leads to addiction. And we tackle that in a responsible, mature way, So that's exactly what we're doing, and that's exactly what harm reduction is all about. And I have to give a shout out to the people at NOS who do a great job at distributing Narcan. And
so I know how to use it. I keep it with me at all times. And also, what else? I have it at home because I live in a neighborhood, the 43610, where that's not an uncommon thing, to see. So, man, it's kind of bittersweet that I'm looking forward to saving somebody's life, but at the same time, I'm saving somebody's life that's overdosing. So that's my contribution, to harm reduction. It is real. If you're in treatment, you might need to widen your scope on care, because everybody that uses aren't going to make it to treatment that first day.
All right.
There's some, and in treatment, we talk about the different levels of contemplating, from realizing something's wrong to thinking that you might want to call a center. So what's happening before then? There's a great chance that you're still using.
Right.
But that doesn't make you a bad person. It's a disease. And we have some steps that we can use to keep you alive until you decide that you want to get help.
And that's the thing, keeping folks alive, right? Like each day we have a choice and a chance. All right, so it's Jay Prince quote. We have a choice and we have a chance. And if you're not alive, you don't have a choice and a chance, right? So many people change their stripes. So many people grow. So many people evolve. And as long as we keep it so that people have that choice, people have that chance, we have a hope for a better future and a better tomorrow.
Hey, you know what? I am doing something I've never done before. I'm on a podcast, but I'm also on my phone, so I'm doing some digital multitasking.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my brain did not break.
That's
So
my job.
I'm gonna put this down, all right, because I know how hard that is. Oh, I can't put that down like that. Now, all right. Speaking of things that's going on in the community, on was it Sunday? We were at Dunkin' for Donuts.
Dunkin' for donations.
See,
Why do they have it on the screen? Look, let's read it. Dunkin', all right.
He just needs new prescription. It's okay. Dave, Charlie, Tracy.
My fault.
I see y'all at the PLs. Where else you at? I just saw that notification a couple of hours ago. So be safe out there if you're still out there. I mean, this was a couple of hours ago, but I did see that they were out dropping off the toys and basically they do all the places that people forget about. PLs, Cherry Woods, and he had another place. Trying to find the post, but it was 2 hours ago, so we're not going to post it on the page. But I did find
there's McClinton Nunn, there's Cherry Woods.
Well, they posted a list of where they were going.
It's Hilltop.
I'm going to try and find.
Just let you know where I be at.
But it's also still based on what we were able to do, and we can't be everywhere. There's only a couple of them, and so I'll try and find out exactly where they were and share that stuff. But I did share all the stuff that I got from that night, and I guess you had some questions for me too. So I'll let you ask your questions, Vic, and I kind of interrupted.
All right, no, it's all good. Hey, listen, I think I left a little bit early. What were some of your highlights of Dunkin' for donations in their 12th? I think their 12th year.
Number 12.
All right.
I think I've been at it as part as I'm always behind the scenes and volunteering, and people couldn't see my face. Taking pictures. That is kind of what the we of Jody is taking pictures, being involved. I am not going to be in the pictures for personal reasons and stuff like that as much, but my thumb, McCain, staff like that is there. It was good. Everybody had a good game. All the kids had fun. We had Black Santa Claus come and give up toys and everything like that. Security was tight. Just gonna say that. Shout out to Scott and the officers that came with metal detectors and strip search center. No, but anyway, it was good. Everybody that came was happy. I met a few friends that I haven't seen in probably about a decade or so that watch me and follow me on social medias and everything. And I don't know. I like that too, because unlike me doing movies or acting or poetry or cooking or being in politics or doing this, I get to meet people in different environments. Like, oh, you ain't just screaming at people. You help. Yeah, I help too. I'm going to try and avoid the cameras, but shout out to 419. The Grind, Jesse and Harold, they was out there. I think they got all 4 angles of the show. You can watch it up. So all in all, it was good. Another successful year. I'm looking forward to year 13. I believe we got somebody on the phone right now.
We've got our brother Omar Gent calling in from Colorado. Hey, how you feeling, brother?
Hey, how's everyone doing?
Hey, we're doing just fine, just fine. Hey, listen, we got a chance to talk earlier, and as always, we get some new people listening and watching this podcast. So if you don't mind introducing yourself, who you are, and man, why do you keep coming back for this struggle, for this fight?
All right, thank you, my brother, and thank you for everybody for putting together this wonderful platform. And peace and blessings to you all. My name is Omar Gent. I'm unlawfully incarcerated in Colorado, and I was wrongfully convicted and railroaded by Colorado's no indictment lockup scheme. That's exposed on my website, my primary website, freeourbrothers.com. And this basically lays it out how prosecutors are basically going around due process to fill the prisons in violation of so-called all the fundamental principles of democracy. I'm just fighting. I keep coming back, my brother, because your platform is very powerful. You're one of the few people that give us a chance to, when we're in these behind these walls, to amplify our voice. And I have to fight for not just myself,
All right. Now, right now, for anybody that's watching, we've got the Free Our Brothers website up, and that's freeourbrothers.com. Am I right, Brother Omar?
Yes, sir. FreeOurBrothers.com, and the offshoot of that is IG at Free Our Brothers, Instagram at Free Our Brothers.
All right, and right now on the screen we have help build the campaign. So go to the website, make a donation, sign a petition, spread the word, email someone, and get informed. Do you want to change now? What do you want to know? So the website is full of everything that Brother Omar would want you to know about what he's doing. We want to know what's on your mind. We want to know just how you want to help us, do what we're doing. Now, the topic of the day, we had an awesome guest on, our brother named Sean Mahone Sr. for Young Men and Women for Change. And we were talking about the violence in our community. How can we stem the tide of what's happening? And why is unity so important? So for you, Brother Omar, why do you think it's so important that operational unity has to be put in place so that we can be successful?
It's a powerful question, my brother, and I'll try my best to answer it. I think it's very important because it's what the enemy fears. If you look at history from Marcus Garvey, for example, with W.E.B. Du Bois, how the government stepped in and caused this unity between them, was playing both sides. They say that W.E.B. Du Bois was, at the time, I'll be very careful because I love the brother, but the facts were laid out and said that he actually believed that Marcus Garvey was harmful and he was working with the FBI, but at the same time, the FBI was working against him, and spying on him, So unity is very important because it's what the enemy is always feared. They always want to keep us fighting each other, not having an operational unity because our unity will be more powerful than an atomic bomb, and once we unify, they can't stop that because one of us may not have the answer, but all of us together have the answer, and we pull our resources, we can help heal each other, and we can see the awesome godlike abilities in each one of us, the great strength and power the Creator has given us all.
All right. Listen, speaking about strength and power, we just had Julian on and we asked him, what are some of the things that he does to keep him in a fight? Why does he keep coming back? What about you? I think that we've known Brother Omar for maybe 2 or 3 years now.
Yeah.
All right. And you constantly show up for the fight. We never received a call from you saying, man, I'm scared. All right. We've never received that. All right. And I don't think that we will. But what is it that keeps you showing up for the fight day after day, week after week?
It's the semi, my brother, because I know that at the end of the day, somebody has to stand up. I look around me, I see people who may not have the educational level to articulate themselves, or they're crippled by fear, like you say. And first and foremost, your operational unity, everybody on this platform brings me back there, encourages me to have no fear and to speak and tell the truth no matter what. You have to stand. I look at the legacy of the ancestors, who didn't have the opportunities that we have, and they stood with a lot less support, a lot of times with no support, under greater odds, So who am I to say, well, in this day and age, with opportunities to get on this phone and link with people like you who help breathe life into my spirit, now I'm going to be scared. I can't back down, my brother. That's what keeps me coming back. The Creator, first and foremost, is the source of all power and ability.
Now, on Instagram, there's a video that you'd asked us to share. It's dealing with one of the Colorado elected officials and her ability to see the video that you sent her and posted. Could you talk about that so that the people that are listening can go to your Instagram, check the video out, and then share it, and then try to call that that congressperson to get her attention on what's happening in Colorado.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Basically, the video is saying RE citizen, and the reason why it's titled that because it's touching on the Dred Scott case. This is summing up for those of you who don't know. Dred Scott went before the Supreme Court, and he raised the question, basically, is he free? Because at the time he was a slave, and he went to free soil, and he asked the Supreme Court, do I have any rights? And unfortunately, I'm asking the same question in this day and age to Representative Leslie Herod. Do you recognize that I have rights? Is that this what you're saying when you get on TV or when you get in interviews on the local news, that you're here to stand up for the rights of the people? Because I've been railroaded to prison. I can't, exercise any of the fundamental rights, which is to be immediately discharged on a freedom petition. So we asking the good sister to step up. The number is 303-866. I know this by memory. 2959. I lead by example. I have her on my phone list. I call her every day. I can't get through, but I keep calling. So we need the people to please call this number 303-866-2959. Leave a voicemail and please encourage the wonderful sister to answer the video to respond to the request to get in contact with me. Because I'm gonna finish with this. Not to be rude or anything, when she was in the legislative session recently, one of her colleagues called her a buckwheat, and we remember seeing her on CNN speaking about this, and which is right, address the issue. And all we're saying is, my sister, these people in this system is calling us a buckwheat, treating us like Dred Scott, calling us all these epithets every single day that we're here. So we need people like her to step up, and I can't do this alone. So please help.
All right, my last question for you. We recently were talking about wellness and self-care. Man, if you don't mind, how many years have you been a confined citizen?
Over 13 years, my brother.
Right. And how much longer do you have to go?
Well, my freedom, my so-called freedom, my halfway freedom, I'm putting in papers in a strategic matter to trying to get back home at interstate compact. But my case manager presented the papers to me, and she's like, I can sign them and be released at any moment, but I don't want to be released to Colorado. I'm trying to work with other people to go back home to Florida. Push come to shove, that can be according to her any day. But I'm not going to let them force me into something that's not best for me. So I'm just trying to build up the momentum, ask people to support the video, so I can get Miss Leslie Herod involved, so she can help assist me going back to my family. I haven't seen my family over 13 years, so that's the, hope that answers your question, my brother.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, man, I've got a couple. I know I don't want to hear that. You have 1 minute, Sam, but I know it's coming. What does your family think about your transformation? What do they think about your overall change?
That's a good question. My fiance, she's to be honest with you, she knew me when I was a lot younger, a lot wilder in high school, coming out the streets and all that. And she tells me every day it was a big change. My father is proud. He said he had before I was born, he had a vision that one of his children was going to be incarcerated, and then file a big lawsuit that was going to just liberate people in the family. My sister is proud. My nephew, he was screaming my name today. Uncle, stay strong, stay strong. To be a lion. So everybody loves me and support me, and it's good to have my people behind me. That verification that each and every day that they feel me and they're grateful for me.
All right. Hey, listen, brother, we thank you. We're about to shut it down. We're going to come back and tie up some loose ends. Brother Omar, as always, thank you for joining us. I look forward to talking to you hopefully this weekend so we can chop it up on some other issues that's going down, because we've got some issues at Toledo Correctional Institution right now where they've put 30 people in the hole. They've had some strange wrongdoing regarding writing the tickets for some so-called knives that they found, and they're not allowing them to communicate with the outside world. And I think we might be on our second day of the hunger strike. They're giving us the information right now. We'll meet it out as they wish before we start naming names. But we thank you, brother, for being in the fight. And thank you so much, brother.
Thank you. Y'all just remember, y'all make noise about that prison issue because they hate to be questioned with intelligence and authority. So make noise. Thank you all.
Yes, sir. And thank you. Hey, listen, this is the CSRN Weekly Podcast, our video minutes. Hey, join us. We'll be right back.
Did you know addiction is a disease, not a moral dilemma? The opioid epidemic and substance use have a major impact on communities of color and many people's lives. Wasion Wellness Recovery Support Center offers culturally relevant inpatient and outpatient behavioral health treatment and recovery support services to any Ohioan struggling with addiction, mental health, or finding sober, safe housing. We must recognize that treatment is available and accessible to all. If you are in need of treatment or want to find out more information, you can call 1-888-728-2713 to talk to someone or schedule an appointment.
Crucible.
Hey, everybody.
We are back. You have no idea. We might look like we're happy. You have no idea how much pain.
Lord have mercy.
Hey, listen, we are back. This is the CSRN Weekly Podcast, our video minutes. We are on loose ends. This is where we're trying to wrap everything up. And almost like saving the best for last, that we have Ruth here. All right. And we're not even going to talk about all the stuff you said last week, Jody. I ain't no snitch. But anyway, hey, listen, Ruth, could you introduce yourself? What do you have on?
All righty. Hey, everybody. My name is Ruth Leonard. I am the administrative core for CSRN. I am rocking a vintage 88 sweatshirt. I actually got a new one. I'm excited to show you guys. Pay attention to my feed, but it is a bright marigold yellow with the vintage 88 logo, as well as multiple slogans to represent the 90s hip-hop cultural phenomenon. I am a medium brown complected woman with a very large afro today, and I'm rocking some glasses I got from Target.
Right.
And so there are a couple of loose ends. So first things first, the holiday season is upon us. If you are going through any of the big feelings of the holiday season and you need someone to talk to, I'm fairly certain Brother Washington already mentioned it, but there are multiple resources that are available for you to talk to someone. If you need some help to get through the holidays, this has been the second of a pair of really rough years. And so I know Jody was trying to find the sign. I don't think we have it. Oh, you have the sign? Okay. So just a gentle reminder, if you are struggling with addiction, you can call 866-712-4401. There's also numbers you can call if you are just sad and lonely and you need someone to talk to.
Right. And it's the same number.
Oh, right? Yes, it's the same number.
We might need to get a bigger sign.
Yeah.
But even if you're dealing with anxiety or depression,
right,
during this time, which a lot of us do. So we're not going to fake like everybody's strong and healthy all the time.
Right.
Everybody needs someone to talk to.
Exactly. The second thing that I would like to discuss is the mayor's, the ARPA budget was passed by City Council, the American Recovery Plan. That was the thing that came out from the mayor's office a few weeks ago, where almost I think it was like 51% of the budget was allocated for the police, firefighters, and for the staff for the city of Toledo. And then the rest of it was allocated for multiple entities. So that budget was passed, and now City Council has to decide how to spend the money moving forward. They have the final word on how that money is spent. However, it is just very important to pay attention to how city council makes those decisions. Another thing that's very important, there are multiple committees that are taking meetings as we wrap up the year. I know that just maybe last week, there was a meeting for the community police initiative that took place. I know Maurice Morris, who once was a candidate for sheriff, he spoke at that meeting. And so it's just because it's the end of the year does not mean that decisions are not still being made and plans are still being put into action. The final thing is there was a grant that was released through the MacArthur Foundation. There were 10 organizations that were rewarded. I believe each one of those got a $10,000 grant. So we will be posting congratulations to those organizations. They are all working to keep the amount of police and violence interactions low. So putting in programming in specific neighborhoods so that our children and adults and families who need resources will have access to them. So keep a lookout for the organizations that got the grants and for what they have coming for the upcoming year. We have lots of opportunities now with not only the funding through the ARPA, but funding through different organizations. There is a need for these programs. Condolences to just the families who were affected by the shooting at the funeral this past weekend, or this yesterday. Sorry. The 3 employees of the funeral home who were hit. In general, it seems as though we are dealing with the spirit of retaliation. And so we have a lot of work that needs to be done throughout the city. We have a lot of healing that needs to take place.
That's right.
There is a lot of room for growth for all individuals that are involved or who have been affected. I made the statement right after Jalen's murder that killing someone is not going to bring him back. And now we are seeing how that spirit of retaliation is affecting individuals who are not involved at all.
Right.
Toledo is, I believe Toledo's very small, but it was 12th nationwide. And then there's also a weird viewing of the data because there's a major jump between the bottom 2 and the top 10 with roughly, I think it's like almost 110. There's a difference of 110 individuals or people who have been killed. But a murder is a murder. And so splitting hairs isn't going to bring any of those family members back. So I look forward to working with all of the organizations that are now going to be making the headway to be the change agents in the community. We've seen lots of organizations come and attempt to make the change. And so we are looking forward to continuing to work with those organizations that have already started, as well as those that are coming into fruition as we go into 2022. One final thing, I think the library is still giving away free COVID tests. I know when I went in, you basically just go in and you say, I would like however many. I think you can get up to 6. So any of the Toledo Lucas County public libraries, you can receive a box of COVID tests. So if you are...
Yeah, we want to pick some up.
Yeah, so if you are gathering for the holidays, it doesn't hurt just to take a COVID test, just to find out...
what your status is.
Yeah, what your status is.
All right. Reminds me of the late 80s and early 90s when we wanted to know our status for HIV.
Mm-hmm.
Just know your status.
Yeah.
You know, you can help to save someone's life.
Right.
Jody, well, I'm going to do a loose end, and then we're going to turn it over to Jody for 5 minutes of heat.
Cool,
all
cool,
right.
cool.
And listen, next week is the third day of Kwanzaa. It'll be the 28th, and I'm going to be heading the Toledo Kwanzaa House third day, which is Ujima, Collective Work and Responsibility. And right now, family, we're working on making this virtual. So it's going to be on Zoom. It's not going to be on our page, but I'm going to post it on our page so that you know to go to Zoom. So for that day, it's going to be the first time that we've ever done it virtually. So we're looking to have at least 3 or 4 mishaps, all right? So that if we have 2, I'm a winner.
Yes.
So I look forward to talk about Ujima collective work and responsibility, because that's what we're going to need to do in order to help reduce the violence in our community. All right. Hey, that is my loose end.
Well, actually, quick question. So the first 2 days of Kwanzaa are Umoja and Kujichagulia.
Right.
What is Umoja?
Umoja is unity.
And what is Kujichagulia?
Self-determination.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Trying to test
Yeah,
me.
I just gotta keep you on your toes.
All
You
right.
can't be in charge of Kwanzaa and not knowing it.
That is, yes, you can. No, hold my beer.
Oh my God.
But yes, you can. But fortunately, we have Mother Diane Gordon that has been participating in Kwanzaa for over 50 years. I started as a part of the Toledo Kwanzaa House maybe 15 years ago. And I've got a great education on what Milana Karenga put together in Oaktown, Oakland, California in 1964. So this is not something that comes from Africa. It's something that's a Black American made by us, for us. It is not a religious observation, nor is it a political observation. It's just some of the principles like unity, self-determination, or cooperative economics, collective work and responsibility, purpose, faith, creativity. I named all 7.
Look at you.
Right. These are the principles that Big Mama used to say we need to have.
Yep.
So we have a way of acting it out. We've got some symbols that mean particular things. We are going to call on our ancestors, those who've gone before us that have contributed to society. So join us next week, 6 o'clock. And family, it's not going to be on this page, but I'm going to share it on this page so that you can go to the Zoom.
Okay.
And it is not going to be a mess. All right.
So we're not doing CSRN Kwanzaa.
We're going to be here.
Okay.
But we're going to be on Zoom.
Okay.
But we're going to be on here.
With this background.
Okay. And some other stuff added, some canaras, the table with all of our fruits and vegetables on it that mean a particular thing.
So this is technically our last show of the year.
This is technically, you could say, our last show of the year. But we are going to have a CSRN spin to Kwanzaa because that's what we do.
Yeah.
All right.
So I think I picked a good one for the end of the year show. Then. No intro. Nothing.
All right.
No intro, nothing.
You know what? Usually, you caught me asleep. I was still thinking about, I got all the 7 principles. I don't know what I'm doing, but I got all 7. So I'll just bask in the glory of that. All right. Hey, listen, as we wrap things up in traditional or conventional wisdom, in traditional meetings, they would end with a gavel or meeting adjourned. Well, we Black, so we do things different. Some type of style and soul to it. So what we did, we added creative. All right, okay. Certified free. All right. So I've been wanting to say that.
Obviously.
Well, last show
all
of the year.
year.
All out. Jimmy,
No. Oh, time out.
No, I'm
No, I believe it. You leave first.
Oh my God.
Right.
Okay, so
we end our meetings with creative expression. We call it 5 minutes of heat, and that was inspired by an old Houdini, a classic hip hop 5 minutes of funk by Houdini. When that song came out, I was deep into hip hop. I used to rap too.
Oh.
And I could still spit a hot 16 if I
Please
decided to.
do.
All right, but I don't want to lose my job. But
Wow.
but we have Jody Summers, child of the system.
I created my own jobs. I can't lose that.
Yes, spoken truth. Jody, what do you have for us today for 5 minutes of heat?
So today, I think it was last show or show before last, I said I was in the process of writing the end of the year forgiveness poem for oneself.
Okay.
I posted it a couple of days ago. I've had 13 different for the heart or care groups and stuff like that. I posted and thanked me about it. So it's the phonetics of this is one I know I won't be able to memorize because of how I structure the pieces that I memorize, which means this is also one of the first pieces where I repeat this kind of like a poem or a real poem so many times where I won't know where one sentence ends or the other one begins.
Okay.
That's where they explain it.
Oh, okay. I'm here for that.
Is that like a run-on sentence?
Kind of, in a way. I've noticed, like, even though this is years of being a poet, national awards, city awards, getting a historical figure award, I am not a poet. I'm a guy who talks about the traumas in his life, and it relates to a lot of other people.
Okay.
But that is what I produce. Not an artist. I'm a guy that's been doodling this character for years, and he just kind of created his own world. Don't let people label you to be something if you're enjoying it, because once it becomes something, it's a little different. Then you get that whole stigmatism of I need to do it this certain way. I didn't go to school for any of this. Actually, I beat up poets and artists and stuff when I was in school. So me doing this now as I've matured and got older and understand sometimes I still may have to go to my trunk, but this poem is meant to be read or listened to in front of a mirror. So if you do hear it, when I do publish, next year I plan on publishing 2 or 3 books. Read this in the mirror. Take every ounce of everything that I'm saying. Another reason why my series are called Tears, whether it be Spoken Truth, Tears of the Wounded, all that stuff, nothing gets produced or leaves to see you if I don't cry first. If it doesn't make me cry, I know it's not going to make you cry because I'm a little hardened-hearted. But let's begin listening, Julie. Peace. I forgive you for being human. It's not your fault that you have a big heart and you allow people to tug on the strings that you openly give them. I forgive you for seeing the good in people, even if it's only a shadow of the past person they once were. I forgive you for your past and all the traumas you had to live through, all the surviving you had to see and lessons you have yet to be taught. I forgive you for forgiving people, no matter how many times they hurt you and disappoint you with the things that you would never do to them. I forgive you for believing in forevers, that there has to be some type of fairy tale ending waiting at the end of this rainbow of broken tears and shattered dreams that won't wind up being another illusion for you to find yourself again. I forgive you for being silent when you know, yes, you know you wanted to speak up. Stand proud in your own conviction, but yet you dwindled and crumbled because you believed your truth wasn't enough. I forgive you for accepting those labels people put on you, calling yourself weird, strange, outcast, black sheep, and not accepting that you are the most unique, beautiful thing that will ever live the history of your story. I forgive you for the isolation you put yourself through and the years of reconstruction to feel whole again. I forgive you for giving too much too quickly to people who only listen and never comprehend, who are only interested in the words and not the emotion of survival that brought those moments to life. I forgive you for the people you do not, yes, you do not forgive. I forgive you for not reaching out in times when you know you needed it. I forgive you for being human. I forgive you for not being able to control your emotions in certain areas that you are passionate about. and over explaining to people who will never understand the contrast of the picture you are painting. I forgive you for apologizing to people who hurt you only because you know somewhere this hurts them too. I forgive you for the tears you cried over situations that were never meant for you. I forgive you for the times you quit and gave up on your dreams becoming reality that didn't quite fit your lifestyle at the time. I forgive you for suitcasing your life trauma so deep within you, they become landmines that people trigger across before you can even give them warnings. I forgive you for those walls you built. I forgive you for that hurt you hold. I forgive you for the love you withhold from yourself. I forgive you for wanting to save everyone, no matter how much it damages yourself. I forgive you for every time you cursed out your creator, thinking you were being punished when it was only a lesson to teach you wisdom so you could grow to be this strong. I forgive you for feeling too fat, skinny, ugly, boring, withdrawn, quiet, shy, explosive, smart, dumb, or self-absorbed to ever belong. I forgive you for the time it took for you to say, I forgive you. I forgive you for being human and hope that you will accept this apology from yourself. In peace.
Ooh, okay, Julie.
It's long.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
But I've had a few people tell me already that they've sat in the mirror and recited this piece, and that's beautiful. I wrote it in the mirror, thinking of it. It's long, but it's everything I could think that I never tell myself anymore, because I'm always doing this.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I accept the forgiveness.
Well, that's beautiful, Jody.
And I can't wait to read the poem in the mirror.
That's right. That's right. And as always, another way that we close out is, I think, yeah. Don't you read context, social cues? All right. All right.
What about vibes?
Well,
I feel like the vibes
I
are
forgive you for not seeing, but I can't say that on the thing. All right. Hey, listen, we're going to close out with the Solidarity Pledge, and we got Ruth here.
Everybody
today.
say I. Say your name.
Brother Washington.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
To love my brothers and my sisters.
To love my brothers and my sisters.
As I love myself.
As I love myself.
I.
Say
your name.
Brother Washington.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
To study to improve myself.
To study to improve myself.
Spiritually. Mentally. Morally. And physically. For the benefit of myself. My family. And my people. I. Say your name.
Brother Washington.
Child of the system.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
To be a part of the solution.
To be a part of the solution.
The process. And not the problem. I. Say your name.
Brother Washington.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
To give all that I can spare.
To give all that I can spare.
Of my time.
My strength.
And energy. To achieve. The above said. Now give yourselves a round of applause.
Great job.
We love you.
We love you.
Yes. Have a happy holiday.
See you 2022.
Have a happy Kwanzaa. Spend time with whomever you can.
Oh, communicate.
Did you just growl?
I don't know what that was.
Communicate with people. And Brother Washington, take us out.
And as always, all lives can't matter until
Black lives matter.
And Black lives can't matter until
all Black lives matter.
Justice or else.
Peace.